Well, hello and welcome to this how-to video regarding the pigging summary on opLYNX Central. As always, the first thing you need to know is how to get to the pigging summary. Once you've logged into opLYNX Central, you'll find the pigging summary under the category called Reports. What it might end up happening for you is it'll default to the favorites. If you don't have the pigging summary in your favorites, go to Show All, and just make sure that you hit the little star beside the pigging summary so that the next time you log into opLYNX Central, you'll see it. Just clicking on the pigging summary, you'll see the little flash happen there, and the pigging summary will load up. And like I like to do on all of our Power BI screens, is give myself a little more real estate, and you can do that just by clicking on the three bars on the left, and then the window expand down in the bottom right. So just run through the four main screens of the pigging summary. The first that you'll log into when you come in is what we call active pigs. Now, active pigs are all of those pigs that have been launched but not yet received. So what you'll see on the screen is that we have our standard drop-downs for superintendent, region, and run, the route name, which we have assembled from the surface location of the launch and the receive. So you'll see we have, for example, 1 of 24 to 11 to 22 sitting on there. We're not using the route names that have been given by the operators on the form at this point, simply because we have found there are way too many variants of that route name, and we are assembling unique route names from those surface locations and the named launch or receive location as may be appropriate to that particular form. There's the generic search bar, and there's some mapping information that we'll talk about at the end of the how-to video. You'll also see that we have some main KPIs at the top. There's 32 routes being displayed, but 33 active pigs. So what that means is somewhere in this list, there's a particular route that has more than one active pig on it, which is obviously something that can happen. And you'll be able to see which one that is by the little yellow flag appearing on the route name beside it. And you can see in this case, there are in fact two different pigs with two different date sent and date expected. You'll see that there is in fact one route with multiple actives sitting on here to indicate that that is the case. 2 of them are expected today, 20 of them are expected in the future, and 11 are overdue. We determine what the expected date is. Some of our clients have forms that have the date expected explicitly on the form. If you don't, we are currently using the due date of the form as the date expected. So if you want to be able to use the date expected a little bit more robustly, just change your due date on the form perhaps, or we talk to one of us at Cybertech and we can add an expected date onto your forms going forward. You'll also see there's a calendar here with the darker the square, the more pigs are expected on that arrival date. You can click on a square and see which pigs are expected on that day. So for the 25th of October, a little bit more lightly shaded, there's 2 of them expected. For the 31st of October, there's quite a few more. Just click anywhere on the blue to clear that date filter out of there, and you'll get everything back. So inside the table, we, as always, have a link to opLYNX Central to go and modify that specific form. But you'll see there's our route name, our launch location, any of the type or the specs or the color, the day that the operator said they sent it, the date expected, and we covered how that's been determined. We also have the arrival status, is it overdue, expected in the future, expected today, any comments the operator gave, and then the run that they gave for it. And you can see that those things are also color coded, and you can filter that arrival status up at the top as well. One of the most important features of the pigging dashboard, like all of our dashboards, is the ability to export the data off to Excel. All of the table widgets inside of the pigging dashboard can be exported. Just hover over the table, and as you do that, you're going to notice 3 icons appearing on the top right of the table. The one you're looking for is the ellipses with the 3 dots called More Options. If you're having trouble being able to click on that, just click slightly beside those 3 icons somewhere just above the column headers. That'll lock that widget into place, and then you should have an easier time being able to click the 3 dots and use the Export Data button to export this data off to Excel. Normally, I just use the data with current layout, although I think the summarized data will give you just slightly different summations depending on which table you're trying to look at. But for the pigging dashboard, the one most important is the data with the current layout. Just hit export. It's going to dump the file to Excel down here in the bottom left. You can then open. Excel will open on your computer, and you'll get a table that looks like this. The second page we have is called the operation status. And these are all the pigs that have forms on a recurring basis, whether they be created and in progress or in a completed state. So if there is, this is regardless of whether the pig has been launched or not. So if you've been rather diligent, for example, this one of 143.5 to one of 643.4 is on a monthly recurring status. It was due on the 31st of October. It was completed on the 17th of October. So it's already been completed. And because this thing isn't due until the 31st of October, our next form, of course, won't be generated till November 1st. So we can see that for all of the pigs that we have on a recurring frequency, what the status is, whether it's been created, which probably means that no one has put anything in whatsoever in terms of a launch or receive. We have several that are in progress, which probably means someone's at least started to fill out a launch status, maybe not a receive. And we can also see who last modified that form. So you can get a sense of who probably put the pig in the line. And of course, completed means everything's done. There's both a launch and a receive date. There's also the main KPIs over here, giving you some sense of how many are in a created, or in progress, completed, how many forms are on a recurring frequency. And I mean, you can also click on the little pie chart to filter down to those particular statuses, or use the status filter to do the same thing. The third tab is called the compliance summary. And this is for all the pigs that are either on a recurring or non-recurring basis. And the main purpose of this page was to show you all the permutations that an operator has put in somewhere along the line of a pig launch location and receive location. And what this is mainly used for is to see if an operator has inadvertently deleted a route, or maybe they've put them quite purposely on a suspended route, or it's just expired. So this is going way beyond the last tab, which was only showing us ones that were on a recurring frequency. These are showing us the last time for any of these permutations that an operator may put in, and maybe they were on accident or not, it just depends. The last time that the pig was launched, and whether the last time we received or completed that pig. So as I scroll down here, one of the main things we've got is also this thing called active status. And this active status, we have a few categories. One, is it inactive? I.e., the last time that particular permutation of launch and receive form was built in opLYNX, did the operator put it on suspended, cancel, or deleted? Was the last time they had that permutation expired? Maybe the last time they had it was completed, in progress, or created, and it's been within the last 6 months. Or maybe it's been created, in progress, or completed more than 6 months ago. So we have this table filtered to show kind of inactives first, then actives in the last 6 months, and then actives more than 6 months ago. And what we can start to see if I just kind of scroll down this list is that there might be routes where we just didn't do the necessary data cleanup. So the last time I saw this particular route, it was completed, but it was way back in 2017. And so I didn't really register this route as being something that I don't want to see anymore, i.e. being inactive. I can see that the next form is due sometime in 2017. And just by the fact that it says active more than 6 months ago shows me that this form probably was not set to suspended, canceled, or deleted. It was probably in some sort of completed, in progress, or created state, and we just didn't do the necessary data cleanup. So if we have a whole bunch of these in a row, we can certainly work together with the Cybertech staff and help you clean up your routes. But this gives you some sense of what may have been inadvertently deleted, what might have been purposely put on suspended, or maybe they were just some one-offs. They're not on a recurring frequency, but every once in a while you do want to do them. And you can get a sense of where all those routes were down here. And you can see there can be quite a number. But this is mainly to help us with some data cleanup. The last tab is the all form frequency, or the all form history, sorry. And as the name implies, this is pretty much every single form inside of our pigging database, regardless of what we did to it. And you can just set the filters to whatever you need. We have those estimated route statuses in here, the inactive expires, if you want to see them. We give you the actual opLYNX status. Was it expired? Was it completed? Was it deleted? So just set the filters to whatever you need to do to see those particular forms. But it also just shows you that everything is in fact in there. We're giving you all the specifications, the launch comments, the received comments, licenses, substances, lining details, and so you can just go and find what you need from there. On all of these particular tabs, we have this handy graph down here that has a map of our route or the AER license number. Now, depending on the client, some of our clients are putting in the AER license into the pigging form, and we do have a couple examples here we can show you. This 13 of 11-34-6 had the AER license number 48948 was put onto the form. Now, it may have also designated which particular segments of that license are being pigged, but at this point, just because of the way that the data is being inputted, there's no consistent or reliable way for us to splice out specific segment numbers right now. And if that's something that you want, we can certainly talk about best practices that we can do to make that possible for you. But what we're doing is grabbing these license numbers from the AER database and plotting them on the map here. And so you can see that they're, according to the AER status of operating for all of those license numbers is sitting down here. If you hover on any of the lines or the nodes, you can see exactly what surface locations that's referring to and what the segment is out of the AER database. And then we also have in black is where the operator launched and received locations. So you can see this is coming from 13 of 11 and going to 2 of 11. If you don't want to see the AER segments on here, just toggle that off at the top and you'll only see the operator stuff. And, vice versa, if you just want to see the AER and not necessarily the operator GPS coordinates that they put on the form. So that's our quick overview of the new pigging screens on opLYNX Central. And if you have any questions or need any changes or modifications, just get a hold of one of us and we can give you a hand. Thanks.